Our Albertsons shoppers donate to Goodwill because it's convenient and they always get a receipt.
I donate to Goodwill because Goodwill keeps things like computers out of our landfills.
I donate to Goodwill because Goodwill turns gently used goods into jobs for people in our community.
I donate to Goodwill because when I give, Southern Nevada benefits.
Donate.
Donate.
It's easy to donate.
Shop and donate today. Pahrumps Goodwill is located in the former Ace Hardware building.
News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 751-0349. News is also brought to you by RV Superstore. We do what other dealers won't. Provide a 3-month warranty on all used travel trailers and motorhomes, 2000 and newer. Call 775-727-7600 today. News is also brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community.
Tonight on News 46, Nevada Public Auction is holding a huge sale. Come to the VFW for a Boy Scout fundraiser. And the sheriff gives an update on a retired canine attack. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell and Jason Koblenz. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Thursday, April 3rd, 2014. I'm Deanna O'Donnell for News 46. A shooting rampage occurred yesterday at Fort Hood, Texas. It left 3 soldiers dead and 16 wounded. Authorities are still piecing together the answer, but seems to be homing in on at least one thing that might have made Specialist Ivan Lopez pull the trigger. The military has very strong evidence that he had medical history that indicates unstable psychiatric or psychological conditions. The incident began Wednesday at about 4 p.m. when the 34-year-old Lopez went from one building at the sprawling Texas military base to a second, firing his .45 caliber handgun. Lopez then put the gun to his head and pulled the trigger, ending his life. Sheriff Tony DeMeo talks about retired canine cop Haas and his recent attack by 2 pit bulls that have left the dog facing numerous surgeries and costly bills for the officer owner. Yesterday, the dogs who allegedly attacked Haas were loose again in the neighborhood on the west side of town.
What happened is on the 23rd of March, they lent the dog out to use the restroom, and there was 2 pit bulls that jumped the fence, attacked Haas, viciously attacked him, mauled him, and was dragging him off into the desert. When the owner, when his wife came, helped along with other people to get the 2 pit bulls off Haas, but unfortunately, the damage to Haas was extensive.
The dogs were out again yesterday, the pit bulls. We were out there on the west side of town. Animal Control was out there. They said one of the dogs returned, but there was another one on the loose. We spoke to Animal Control Director Vance Payne about this, and he was talking about Haas not being within his yard. Do you have any comments about that?
Well, the dog was in sight. The dog, and we understand that in the article. The fact of the matter is that the dogs jumped the fence, and attacked the dog, viciously attacked the dog. The dog again went over the fence, and who knows what's going on when the dog is still missing.
Haas served proudly the Nye County Sheriff's Office for 4 years.
4 years in canine is a pretty good time. He brought in. He was active. He was a patrol dog. He's also narcotics certified. Unfortunately, when the dogs are retired, there is no account for them in order to offset any kind of expenses that they have once they leave the sheriff's office.
So this is really affecting the sergeant and his family because they're really close with their animals, right? The deputies.
Well, I said when a canine, we're close to animals. Anyway, if you're an animal lover, you're close to your animals. But when you're your partner, they have a special status. This is a dog that you patrol the streets with. That dog is there to protect not only the citizens of Nye County and other deputies, but also the handler himself. Many times, canines have taken a bullet that was meant for someone else or their handler. So we know that when we patrol the streets with these animals, that the possibility of them coming in contact with injury that's fatal to them and saving the life of a citizen or the life of a deputy or the handler is reality.
And Haas did go through another surgery today. We're going to keep giving you updates on how he's doing. But if you would like to help out Haas's owner, who is a sergeant with the Nye County Sheriff's Office, you can donate on PayPal, and that's haas.help4k9@yahoo.com. That's haas.help4k9@yahoo.com. You can also stop by U.S. Bank. We're going to give you that number right there. That's 153-756-297-450. And that's at U.S. Bank. That's right there in the Smith's Shopping Center, and you can just tell them it's for Haas the dog if you don't have the account number and donate. You can also stop by Homestead Animal Hospital right there on Homestead, and they have a collection jar there for Haas as well. Well, as electronic cigarettes increase in popularity, calls to the nation's Poison Control Center about exposure to the liquid nicotine used in many of the devices have surged. In February, there were 215 Poison Center calls involving e-cigarettes. That's compared to 1 per month in September of 2010. 51% of those calls involved children 5 and under. Since not all poisonings get reported, the CDC said the total number of cases is likely even higher. Nicotine is a drug, and in its concentrated liquid form, poison experts warn it's also significantly toxic, even in small doses. When we come back from this break, we'll have some health tips for you.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Albertsons. You're in for something fresh.
Welcome back. Everyone seems to be trying to find ways to stay healthy. In today's health tip report, here are some advice on 6 ways to better health care.
This health tip is brought to you by
Desert View Hospital and Mountain Valley Physicians Group. Don't put your health on hold. We have time for you. Call us to schedule your appointment. 775-751-7100.
Almost every American is concerned about the increasing cost of health care. Debates continue on how to control these costs without compromising patient care.
Because of my 30 years of work on quality improvement, I know that the best way to reduce cost is to improve quality, not to cut back on care.
Dr. Donald Berwick is the former administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and also the former president and CEO of the Institute for Healthcare Improvement. He says waste is the #1 culprit in healthcare.
If we don't work on waste and improvement of care as the fundamental agenda for reduction of cost, we're headed over a cliff. Bad things are going to happen.
Dr. Berwick and his co-author, Andrew Heckbarth, have 6 suggestions for cutting waste. 1, failure of healthcare delivery.
This is when care goes wrong, when we have a post-operative complication that could have been avoided, or an infection that someone gets, or a medication mishap.
2, when that care isn't coordinated.
So we drop the ball when you go from a primary care doctor to a specialist or from hospital to home.
3, overtreatment. Receiving drugs, devices, or interventions that may not help.
For example, getting antibiotics for a viral infection doesn't do any good at all, and yet we do it all the time.
4, dealing with complex administrative rules and forms.
Lots of different players in healthcare add costs by requiring you to jump through hoops if you're a doctor or a nurse, filling out forms and things like that don't add any value.
5, pricing failures. In the U.S., diagnostic procedures such as MRI or CT scans cost several times more than identical procedures in other countries. And 6, stopping system fraud and abuse.
Doctors and nurses and pharmacists have a natural partnership with patients around that very question. Does this help? Because if it doesn't help, we need to stop it so we have the money available to do what does help.
Catherine Dolph, The JAMA Report.
The Nevada Division of Environmental Protection's efforts to secure funds from the company responsible for perchlorate entering Lake Mead has ended with a settlement of approximately $1 billion to support cleanup efforts in Nevada. State cleanup activities since 1997 have reduced the perchlorate concentration in Lake Mead to levels below the detection limit. The new settlement amount of $1 billion will enable the state to continue the remediation and eradication of perchlorate contamination at the soil source, along with ongoing groundwater treatment, all to ensure there is no contamination migration to Lake Mead or onto the Colorado River. Here's Miss Senior Nye County contestant Donna Jokinen.
Hi, I'm Donna Jokinen, and I'm going to be running for Miss Senior Nye County. It's coming up on April 12th at 3 o'clock. The doors will open at 2:30 if you want to get there a little early. I also ran last year. I took first place as Miss Senior Nye County, and I also won talent. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
Well, Rosie Nelson is a 32-year-old mother of 3. She has been diagnosed with colon cancer. The doctor has recommended major surgery and a lengthy recovery. There is a fundraiser Sunday at the Maverick Saloon for Rosie. The event begins at 1 p.m. The Maverick is located at 340 East Mesquite Avenue. If you would like to help donate to Rosie and her family, you can also go to GoFundMe/Helping Rosie. And Ron Chase invites everyone down to Margaret Street this Saturday for a Nevada Public Auctions auction.
Today's auction news is brought to you by Nevada Public Auction.
This weekend's auction has several large estates, and one of the estates had a Emmett Kelly collection, so lots of autographs, clowns, porcelain figurines, collectible plates. Then another estate had a large Southwestern Native American collection, so pottery, vases, signed kachinas. And then the third estate had a lot of Hollywood memorabilia, movie props, and autograph posters from like Harry Potter, Indiana Jones.
Let's talk a little bit specifically. There's some collections here, like you said, Southwest, and then these clowns are a particular draw for some people, aren't they?
Yeah, these clowns are all Emmett Kelly, which was a very famous clown. And like I said, one piece is a signed lithograph by Emmett Kelly and the artist. And then there's just various sculptures and little figurines, a couple snow globes. So it's a very interesting collection.
Coin collection and some guns.
There are also some coins. The guns this time are just BB guns. We'll have a large gun auction at a different time. But yes, lots of coins, currency, several gold pieces, $5 gold pieces, pesos. It's a very nice collection.
Let's go a little bit into these movie posters.
It was a large collection of autographed movie posters and movie props. Most of them were bought from Starabilia, which was a company that had stores in Walt Disney World and Disneyland. They've all got their certificates of authenticity. And like I said, they were purchased from a reputable dealer at Disneyland.
Some of the big draws would probably be, especially this Walt Disney signed copy of Bambi here.
That is correct. Yeah, the Walt Disney, it's matted and framed. It's just gorgeous. The autograph is from a Bambi book, autographed by Walt Disney himself. And then one of the Harry Potter posters has like 31 autographs on it. The Pirates of the Caribbean, of course, has Johnny Depp and Orlando Bloom. The Indiana Jones posters have Harrison Ford and Steven Spielberg.
One of the most interesting draws would have to be that Harry Potter book, which says that it's the original book that was actually in the movie, as well as the letter that was delivered to Harry.
That is correct. There are 2 pieces here that from the same collection of all the autographs. These are actually movie props. There's actually 3 of them. There's the signed page, or the signed envelope. There's a signed book, and there's also Hagrid's costume from the very first movie.
And that's a big draw, isn't it? Hagrid's costume.
It's pretty cool. I thought it was very interesting, and even the tag on the back tells you who made it, and that it was made for Robbie Coltrane, and it was in the very first movie. It's very interesting. There's a signed guitar from U2, all 4 members of the band, again, just matted and framed gorgeously.
Fantastic. People can find out more about this auction. When are the preview times for people to check it out? And they can also go online, can't they?
Yes, they can. So the preview for the auction is Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also go online. It's Auction NV, so it's just www.auction and then nvlikenevada.com. And the address here is 800 Margaret Street. So again, it's Nevada Public Auction, 800 Margaret Street, and our web address is www.auctionnv.com.
Today's auction news is brought to you by Nevada Public Auction.
Now, nobody's allowed to buy that Harry Potter book because Darby has told me that that's definitely hers, unless you guys are buying it for her, I guess. When we come back from this break, we'll have your news across Nevada and today's First Business Brief.